Hi, everyone. Welcome to White Noise. My name is Robin, and I'm your host today. I have been listening to a lot of Miles Davis. I just told everyone this, so I feel like I'm being repetitive. But I was just thinking about it. I went on a really nice walk before, and I was thinking about how when you tell someone that you've been listening to a lot of Miles Davis, I feel like everyone has their own association with him because his career as a musician was so diverse. And he has all these timelines and periods. It's like, what period are people thinking of when you say you've been listening to Miles Davis? Are they thinking of like all blues? Are they thinking of Bitches Brew? Are they thinking of like round midnight era? For me, I've been listening to all of it because, it's better when you just listen to it all at once. I don't know, I was just thinking about that. But yeah, last time we were here, it was election day, and now it's not. And we're on the other side of something that feels like it's not really even begun yet. And I just feel like I'm waiting, and I don't know what I'm waiting for. But I'm here. I'm still here, obviously, and I'm still writing. I've been writing a lot recently. I have been reading a lot and read this beautiful book of poetry recently by this English writer named Ray Hollingsworth. He's a poet, and he was pretty big during like early 2000s. Has a very like dirty London vibe, which I love. And I've just been like so into him and feel like this kinship towards this man that I don't even know what he looks like, but he's a great poet and he's been inspiring me. And I've also been reading Irvine Welsh, great Scottish writer. I just went to Scotland, as a lot of you know, and I feel like I never really returned. I wish I could never have to come back here. Mentally, I'm still there. And so I've been reading a lot of Irvine Welsh to place me back there. And what else? Been reading Virginia Woolf and Kurt Vonnegut. Yeah, just all the classics, right? But yeah, that's been my life for the past 2 weeks. And yeah, let's just kick this off. There's not really much else I want to say. Our first performer tonight is Peter. Welcome to the stage.
Good morning. So, thank you. The theme for tonight is love and transformation and birth and rebirth, which is astrologically fitting. We welcome Aquarius into the life of Pluto. It's the first day that Pluto's in the sign of Aquarius, out of Capricorn. So I'm just going to read some stuff that I wrote recently in some order. And I hope that it's not too ambiguous. Doesn't mean to be. I'm doing my best to be clear. But it's not easy to find a way to say the thing that I want to say. So I'll start with this. It's like a haiku or something. It's letting go, like a blade of grass, the wind. Faith, 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 faith. My every move a traitor to love. Love unaffected by the mountain weather, every glimpse a casket to the rough urgency of carnal desire. No wish could carve disaffection alteration, though the vice-grip mind serves saturate plans. Live like any life could have you. Spangled roses up a chimney meet the sky like a bridge thanks its pedestrians for life. Between the concourse of spirit and flesh, God's microscopic intercourse plays fiddle to your tune. Needy, petulant, and waifish, the lover pretends singularity of charm. In the immaculacy of central heart, we meet, silent. Here's another. Spendthrift millennia in a churchyard wailing would offer silence, petty cash and gold trinkets for something. Anything to make the stone walk in measured time. My God, each moment eulogized past inertness, unreflected, volcanic irrelevancy. The look like this beside that in style. Popinjay, peacock, collar pop. Everything working in quick succession to the graceful chagrin of harmonious decency. And she, attesting to some virtue unequivocal to the purpose, could just as blandly decide enough's enough, become a bed of roses, a cellar door, trash bag, pad of clay. And though the churchyard wailing changes its tune, not a single moment's difference could corroborate truth. Dos más. This is a provisional opening to a longer piece of fiction. Inspired by a Roman writer named Apuleius, who wrote The Golden Ass, or The Transformations of Lucius. Before you get to know me a bit, and the windmills of judgment collide with facts, please know that I was in fact born of a mother whose husband also loves me, and that, despite any perceived evidence to the contrary, contained in me is a beating heart, whose field of inquiry, navigating that treacherous zone up the esophagus between either half of my brain and down again out my mouth, I've made no shortage of effort to ceaselessly permit full reign of every visible and invisible force that governs this life. Alas, that were it not for the 2.5-day pig and all the sordid details better left unspoken, no matter of worldly resolution or transformation would remain for those of us yet to face a ride on the devil's back. One common occurrence of ordinary speech that has something to do with the following text is the flagrant certainty through which one decides that this is this and that is that. Though one may find oneself in the unenviable company of a babbling idiot, prudence and resourcefulness suggest, as certain narrators have, that reservation of judgment is a matter of infinite hope, and that faith, schooled in the absence of all one may hold dear, is always waiting. Okay, and here's the last one from me for tonight. These are all probably titled Intoxication, 1, 2, 3, etc. A love that schools madness to sobriety. Reckless abandon makes courage seem cowardice, and no act tantamount to truth. Sex, a lie, breath, falsehood, even presence, pain. To speak is to die, and yet your nothingness, a paltry hymn to the divine replacement, awaiting the vessel's servitude. How can I tell God to wait any longer? Like the emanation of your voice in a meadow reaching to the sun, I write the cadence of a kernel set to bloom. In the morning, existence trembles to acknowledge the ferocity of your victimless vices. Appraisal is another way of disowning the property of bliss, awaiting. Faith need do nothing, yet yearning frames my every move. Sophistication allows every allocation of love, yet unknown to freedom. To eat a pomegranate in wintertime, to behold the nothingness of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, thank you. Next up, we have Jim Donnelly. Welcome to the stage.
Oh, I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I'll wear the bottoms of my trousers rolled. Do I dare to eat a peach? Do I part my hair behind? That's all T.S. Thomas Stearns, that is. Hey, anyway, I'm happy to be here. I haven't read in a long time. And I'm going to do some classic pieces of mine. I've been losing too many people. But, as time goes on, hey, what are you going to do? Hey. It's beautiful to read. I haven't read in so long. My partner and I started reading about a year ago, and then he died of cancer just like within a week. He said, I got cancer, stage 4, I'm dying. I said, is this a joke? He said, no, boom. All right, but we used to do this stuff together. He was my commissaire, what's the word? He made sure that whatever we did went down. But I wrote the stuff. I'm blathering. Bring out your spoken word. Bring out your spoken word. Let it sing out and reach to the depths, the heights of ears. Blast out your thoughts to your peers. Open up the casket of your future. Coat the innards with an optimistic suture. Bring out your spoken word. Let it rip. Take a tongueful of your thoughts and toss them as seeds, hoping for germination. Have a libation or chew on some bean curd. Bring out your spoken word. Let it foam, let it froth, let it boil and simmer to a tasty broth. Take it on the road, let it explode. Keep it vibrant with spittle so it doesn't corrode. Chance the gamble, it might sound absurd. Delirious, mysterious, queer and full of fear, and sanctimonious with a leer. Let it flap spontaneous as a bird, as a bird, as a bird. Bring out your spoken word. Bring out your spoken word. Bring out your spoken word. Yep. It's funny. I wrote this before. Again, I'm a Kingston kid. I smell of Kingston. I've lived for 23 years in Stanfordville, 20 miles equidistant, way across the river in Dutchess County. But I'm still a Kingston. I smell of Kingston. I was the meter man at Kingston for 16 years, man. I got to know a lot of angles. They'll be coming up. But here's good advice. Love a city, but know some woods. Love a city, but know some woods. Love a city, but know some woods. When I was Meter Man, like 30 years ago, there was a homeless guy, and he sort of took care of the couple of girls that were prostitutes on Broadway in Kingston, and I don't know if they slept in his car with them. He was an older guy. He sort of looked like the character from SpongeBob. Squidward. Yeah, he looked just like that. That's it, Squidward. Thank you. And he had this old beat-up car, and he lived in it. And walking the streets of Kingston and Broadway, I got to know him. I don't remember his name, but excuse me. This is all about knowing him. You and me car at night, at day, rolling along, parking, idling at a drive-through, catching music, catching radio phone-ins live, reports of the road of the world as told by reporters that sound alike. Yeah, you and me car, my head on your vinyl interior. Your adjustable breath coming through the vents, your tray full of my ashes, the reclining seats you offer during those special times. You count the miles we've traveled and I mark them down. You and me car, keeping within limits, keeping within lines, adjusting to the weather conditions. Wiping away the rain, defrosting the rear window, lowering the sun visor, rolling the windows up, putting on the AC. Both of us getting a bath at the 24 Hoffman Hour car wash on Albany Avenue, covered with soap suds, scrubbed in the car brush, rinsed off with the power hose, chamois dry and ready to shine beneath the streetlights of Kingston. You and me car, cruising along the main streets, the back streets, and down street, feeling what the TVs will never be able to express. We are witnesses of roadway reality. Sense of exhaust and burning rubber. We are witnesses of roadway reality. Sense of exhaust and burning rubber. We are witnesses of roadway reality. Sense of exhaust and burning rubber. You and me car. Just driving through. I wrote this before I ever had kids. They're all grown up now. But, I don't know. Hey. It's called Meatloaf. A strange thing happened tonight at the dinner table. Tonight we talked. My daughter asked how I was feeling, so I went into detail. And soon the wife started explaining what she did different with the meatloaf. And before long, even our recently pubescent son stopped picking at his peas and rubbing the fuzz on his chin. He got into conversing with me. Some of the lines were so good, I had to grab a napkin and a pen. And later on, I asked the wife to make that meatloaf again. Yeah, make that meatloaf again. Make it soon. This was downtown. The bridge was just redone, if you're all from here, Ward Street Bridge. My father was 5 when it was dedicated. You remember Governor Al Smith, only the first Irish Catholic governor. My father grew up in Port Ewan below the hill. Oh, the Catholics lived below the hill and the Protestants were above it, and you didn't date a Protestant girl back then, Anyway, 1921, the bridge opened, and it's been redone. And my father was 5, and he remembered being there to see how, because before that you had to take the skilly putt across the creek from Slatesburg to Kingston on a tow rope. But Walter Brookholtz had a deli, which is still there. If you go down to the New Ward Street Bridge on the right, some family has it now. But Walter Brookholtz had it way back 30 years ago, and you had to get in your signature early to get your hot dogs for 4th of July, because he cased them right there himself. Walter Brookholtz owned that deli right by Wirt Street Bridge in Kingston. Deli counter man, red-faced, red-handed, bulky, with blood-smeared white apron. "What do you have, buddy?" Pork, cheese, and pumpernickel rye in his breath. His deep, gravelly, belchy voice assures thick blood and arteries that go back for generations. There's a picture of his grandfather on the wall over the slicer with a gutted bear hanging from a tree somewhere in the Adirondacks, smiling with knife in ancient hand. Ah, Delaware County man. Delaware County woman. His chunky wife, bulky wife with hair bunned, wiping the counters, lifting the jars of pickled eggs and pig's knuckles, gathering up the dust, her wedding ring shining through the hours like his all bloody and devotional. Deli counter man and deli counter woman. They eat well every night. They give a big meaty kiss goodnight. They sleep with spicy deceased matter slivered between their teeth, roaming on down through their bowels. Deli counter man, deli counter woman. Prepared for heavy dreams and eager to get behind that deli counter again in the morning. Hey, we both wet the bed. That'll be the reply when asked how we remained together for so many years. I want to be a kid again. I want to piss in roadside streams with passerbys cooing. Oh, look how cute. When death looks you in the eyes, you know what? You shut him. Hey, death, I want to do it with you, death. I want to do it with you, right in the bones, right in the ash. I'll give it to you so good. You want to live. I might love it so much. I want to die. Womb. Mother's waiting for you to come back home to her so she can eat you up. Come back after being alone, after being away, these years gone astray. She's been waiting for the day. Though all this time you've had nothing to offer, she's been saving her quarters in her coffer. You won't need a bowl or a bent bruised tin cup. Mother's waiting to eat you up. She's what started this mess anyway. Without her womb, you'd never have seen a day. Mother's waiting for you to come back home. Eat you up. Hey, the big gun. People can be so fragile that they kill. You know? Big gun. Where'd you get shot? Was it a postman, a disgruntled spouse out of work? Was it an automatic or double-barreled shotgun? Did you see a tunnel in the operating room? Is there still some lead in your flesh? I go off at metal detectors anymore. Did your shooter get away? Get maimed? Get killed? Mine was released from prison for good behavior. I picked my wound and let it bleed for him. Were you at home, at a diner, a drive-thru, in a government building? I was at a car wash. Saw the flashes through the suds. Lost most hearing in the left ear. Did you lose any functions? I was wearing a white suit. I wear it now to protest at pistol freedom rallies. Holes, blood, frayed lapels. Can you still watch TV? I find there's too much violence. I can't sleep at night. I don't eat much either. Now, my therapist says it's good. I've lost weight, less stress on the heart, and she carries a gun too. A big gun. She carries a gun too, a big gun. Fuck. What's this all about? I don't care what you tell them. Tell them everything. Go ahead, Blabbermouth. Tell them all there is to tell. I mean everything. Tell them everything from the broadest view to the finest detail, the most honed gossipy juice. Blather all with your proud, juicy lips. Recite all you've collected by phone today and mail last week and pieces of paper found in garbage cans taped together to tell all you with your life based on what you've heard and collected. What would you do if you couldn't tell? Tell all, but dry up into your TV, your refrigerator. I help to keep you small. Tell all. Chances are you'll be dead before all can ever be said. You can put on quite a show, but there's so much you don't even know. Your snaky bite has harmless venom. Penis just waiting for shells to... Penis just waiting for society to shell them. I'm sorry. I don't care what you tell them. Tell them everything. Go ahead, loose lips. Keep squawking from your big head. The core lines will still be unheard, unread. Tell all. There's still some time for getting some. Gotta go get it. Get some now. Go get it. Don't come back till you get it. Give me a time.
You want to do one more?
All right. I can go on for hours. All right. This is the perfect end. Oh, ass. What do I do with you? So round, so smooth, and the desire to lay upon you my face. Oh, ass, what unknown powers you possess. The shadow of your crevice brings me suspicion, brings me wonder. With scent of no definite description you bloom. Shine my way, O ass. Such reclined shape, comforting to all touches. Carrier of mystery, intuitive mate of mine. Soft idol, welcoming essence. Seat of happiness. Oh, ass. Oh, ass. Oh, ass. What do I do with you? Toodaloo. Hey, I'll take it off.
We should just have a Jim Donnelly show here one day. I think that would be great.
I can do it.
Yeah, no,
I'll
let's.
wear my thong.
I mean, let's do it. Let's plan. I mean, I already put it in motion, so now we just gotta plan. Thank you so much. I love meeting people who grew up here because I work here, and I love learning more about the community that I really love. It's such a wonderful city, and it's just, there's so much history here, and you know,
First capital of New York State.
that is true, first capital, and it's constantly growing and evolving, which is amazing. You know, I work for the news, so I see a lot of good and a lot of bad, but at the end of the day, I would still live here, which I think is a good sign. Yeah, thank you so much. Next up is Jolly Joe Jester. Welcome to the stage.
My predecessors, incredible performers, bravo. I was a little worried about cutting the cheese in here, but after that opus to ass, I think I'm going to let one rip, I think, before the end of the night. Maybe before my set is over here. You never know. Yeah, you know, do it now, right? That's a little bit of advice I heard recently. Do it now. The Nike "just do it" is not strong enough. That's a little like whiny. Like, just do it already. Just do it. Do it now. I do it now. That's kind of my new phrase. Not just with farting, but with life decisions. Like, I wasn't even going to come here tonight, and then I saw our gracious host on my street walking by my entry to the street as I just was casually going out for a walk, not even remembering tonight was this magnificent event. And I remembered that video earlier that I watched, Do It Now. And I thought, I'm going to share my spirit with Greenkill, and I'm doing it now. Yeah, it's going to happen. And you know, this place, I'm glad I did it. Because earlier when I saw that video, do you think I put my phone down and did something productive? No. I watched 30 more videos. I swiped. I let the videos come through and in and out, and let my brain be a little bit scattered and shattered, and I'm done with that. Maybe that's the thing that I'm leaving behind. Our first other speaker here today was sharing the gift of Aquarius entering into Pluto. Well, that is very good news for me. Even though Pluto's like barely real, I'm very excited about it because I'm 27 years old, and it's actually 69 days until my birthday. I did the math. Can anybody, quick addition, know that? 3, 2, 1.
January 13th.
Very close. January 27th is my birthday, and I will be 28 years old. I had a goal this year to do stand-up comedy 27 times in my 27th year on life. I started it right here at Greenkill, and I'm happy to say, check in, this is number 22. All right? Right on track to finish. Just do it. Just do it now. Go out. Go to the microphone, even when you are pulling it out of your fur coat. You guys like this?
No.
Nobody likes it?
No.
How about this?
No.
So it's not real. It's not real fur, okay? I got assaulted this weekend in Great Barrington with my partner. Okay, we're in Massachusetts. And I swear this lady was like, "Where is my red paint? I am a vegan. Don't tell me that's real," because this one looks real. See how it moves with the light? She didn't believe me. She was like, "I really don't think that it's faux." But it is, lady, and it is to all of you, because I love animals, okay? I get sentimental when I have to kill a spider, okay? I'm like, I'm sorry. I know that could be my dead mom trying to say hello. She's just needed to get 8 eyes on me while I'm taking a shit. But this is okay. I most of the time try to do a safe rescue of spiders and animals. Any hunters in the house? Raise your hand if you've killed an animal. All right. Good to know. I like it. But when my hunter friends come on my little feed after the Do It Now video, I might get out of my... If I have to see that deer one more time, held up by my big smiling asshole friend who was always aggressive growing up, I'm like, man, give the deer the gun next time. No, I love everybody. But I love the urge to hunt and to protect in this world. We have to maybe, someday. There's a lot of people on the doomsday, watch. And they're ready to go hunting and gathering and meeting here. Sometimes you just got to kill the greens. Am I right? Maybe you should just go after the kale gardens and the fruit and the veggies. But yeah, I'm not wearing a possum supported jacket. I'm wearing this. It makes me feel good. It's from a man who lost his wife right here in Kingston. Yeah. And I actually used it in a play. And it was more of like this. And I was a mythological creature called a Samiad. And what a Samiad is, do you all know? You don't know what a Samiad is? It's a sand fairy. And you dig one up and it grants you 3 wishes. Maybe I'll grant the audience a wish or 2 right now. Who has a wish? Huh? Oh, and before you wish, all of my wishes turn to stone at the sun setting. So this'll be a wish for November 20th. What do you have in mind? Anyone?
McDonald's burgers.
All right. Someone said they wish for McDonald's burgers. Okay. Oh, you, sir. You should check your phone. You have a coupon for the new chicken McBack back. Okay? The McBack is back. It's a bigger Mac, and it's got chicken, and it's free for you. You're welcome. One other wish. Only tomorrow, though. So you have to go. And when you go through the drive-through, make sure to tell President-elect hi for me. All right? What else? One or 2 more wishes. Anything. Purple hair. All right. Purple. Oh. All right. You got it. Here's what you need to do. Go to the store and find the best plum in the bunch. It has to be the best, or it's not going to work. Do you hear me? And an eggplant. And a purple Jolly Rancher. That is the potion. Put that all in your blender, drink it, and I'll be seeing you down my driveway with purple hair tomorrow. All right, last wish, and then I'm going back to my story. Please. Maybe someone from this side of the room. You don't just get to come here and not sign up for the open mic and not say one word. What do you wish for? Snow. All right. Silent night. Holy night. All is cold. Round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Thank you. Yeah, 28 years old. time to wake up. Time to start doing my part. I started small. It was my fiance's birthday yesterday. So I tried to go really above and beyond for that. We've been engaged for almost 5 years, so got to step it up in the birthdays. I proposed to her on her birthday in 2020, and we're planning a music festival wedding, so to speak. Might need David up there taking videos. There's probably going to be an open mic at the wedding. It's going to be great. You're all invited. But here's the thing. On the day, we make it special. I went through every possible place of where we could stay. Cool Airbnbs, fun little cabin in the woods. This one's got a hot tub that'll burn our asses because it's cast iron and it's got a fire. Where does she want to go? Hampton. I'm so sick of it. Come on, why do we have to go to a place so stingy? As a former hotel employee, it's a little PTSD. Post-traumatic front desk disorder. PTSFD. I don't know. What it is scary because these places are weird. It got hot. It was hellish. A little warm. You can't open the windows. You push the air conditioning. It doesn't go down. You got to ask for a fan. They give it to you, but they're like, we got to take your firstborn. And then we go ahead. There's dust all over it. I'm trying to just take a bath. It's leaking on the people below us. Come on. It's raining. It was snowing in their room because of my bath and the bubbles. Too many bubbles creates a whole thing. Either way, we had a good time. My partner and I have fun. She's the kind of girl you could be in the middle of a passion moment, cuddling up, having a great time, and she just says, like, what's it going to be like when you're dead? Yeah, she's got intrusive thoughts. It's fun. We'll be having a great time driving down the road, and she'll just start thinking about the worst possible thing, and just we find somebody like Jolly Joe Jester. I'm always there to turn it around, right? I'm always there to say, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. Let's just be here now. Do it now. Just kill me and get it over with in the car. Don't tell me how to drive, okay? No, that's okay. She could tell me. I love women. A couple of weeks ago, I was saying women are the future. We need I even have a shirt here. Women lead, okay? I'm talking about it because it's real. Even I'm a hardcore feminist. I find my worst moment is when I'm like leaving the big cheese for my breakfast sandwich and I got 2 identical sandwiches and I'll give her the less one. I'll weigh it out and be like, and I hate myself after. This is confession. I can't do it. I got to be honoring our women, feeding them, treating them like queens. That's where I'm starting. But once that's taken care of, what about the rest of the world? Once you got your world set up, how about people in the streets? How about people who can't even go to the doctor, can't even go and have a nice, snowy, silent night this Christmas? And what are we going to let happen to them? The hotel pool closed. Of course, I always bring my suit and I get excited. 10 p.m., closed. Can't go in a second later. When I was the guy, I'd be like, listen, it's unlocked. I told you not to go in there. So legally, you're breaking the rules, but I'll look the other way for you, baby. Go ahead. Go jump in. Take a dip. What would you do if somebody came and dipped in your pool in your backyard? How many people here would call the cops? Nobody. Not the Kingston crowd. How many people would get their guns? How many people would press the emergency drain the pool button? Nasty hippies swimming in my water. How many people would go out with lemonade and a Speedo and say, let's swim. Let's rock and roll. I got hors d'oeuvres. Happy Thanksgiving. So that's what the world needs. That's all I'm trying to say is that put a sign out on your pool that says, strangers welcome. All right? Come swim. Invite your neighbors. This whole world could be one big pool party if we just were nicer to each other and go with the flow and a little less scared of our neighbors. And if a guy's walking down the street in a fur coat, maybe don't try to squirt him with a red squirt gun, pour blood all over me, and trust me that it's faux. I mean, I'm for sure here, guys. Mod acrylic, polyester, okay, made in China, 100% cotton. I don't know any cotton fairies or cotton animals, okay? But I do know this. In my heart and in this furry coat, there is nothing but love for not just you people, but all people. You're all welcome in my pool, all right? But I don't have one because I'm poor, okay? So you can join my Patreon. I will be giving out business cards. This is just the beginning, okay? Seize the day. Let it rip. Be positive. Write poems about ass cheeks. Go out there and be your spirit animal like I am today, the Samiad. Thank you all. You've made my wishes come true.
Never fail to make me giggle. I just wanted to say that there's a word for what your fiance, is doing. It's called catastrophizing, and I'm the top of that totem pole. I'll just say right now, from the first moment I began dating my boyfriend, I was already thinking about the day he would die. Yeah.
Any advice?
Just realize that it's irrational. And grow up. No, I'm kidding.
I love her.
No, I love Serena. She's amazing. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, if you guys would like to perform, there is a sign-up sheet, but no pressure. Yeah, I think that's my whole recap. Amazing, though. Thank you for the positivity. We all need that. And yeah, we should all let our neighbors swim in our pool. I was lucky enough to have a pool growing up that my dad meticulously maintained. And we had huge pool parties like every weekend, and it was like the best. Yeah, a pool is such a luxury. Now that I'm like, a journalist and don't have any money, I'm like, wow, if I could like go in that pool one more time, it'd be amazing. But I can't, and it's okay. My parents sold the house because they got divorced, so whatever. But now I have the beach and I have the ocean, and I can just take a cold dip in the mountain water, and it's pretty much the same. Yeah, you just take a nice bath. Yeah, but next up is Kevin. Welcome to the stage.
Is this a good height? Yeah. Cool. Everyone can hear me? Sweet. I was feeding the meter when this clown carrying a grocery bag full of money barreled out of the Dunkin' Donuts and bowled over my buddy Dan. The clown chugged his iced coffee and slammed it on the ground while apologizing to Dan and explaining he was in a hurry. Dan rose to his feet, fist set to clock the clown in the face. That's when I noticed the manager of the Dunkin' Donuts running towards us. The clown reached into his bag and stuffed a fistful of ones in Dan's hands and said, "There's more where that came from if you can get me out of here." I opened the back door and said, "Get in." And Dan was freaking out, but he pushed the cash into his pocket and slid into the passenger seat. And I peeled out of there with a clown in the back and a bag of money in the center console, bouncing over a parking block into 3 lanes of traffic heading north to our apartment. In our kitchen, Dan threw up in the sink while I paced around, running my hands through my hair. "You can't stay here, man. You need to go." "I just need to lay low for a while," the clown said. "Just need to figure out my next move." He had on a big white clown suit and red wig that made cones on either side of his face. His red nose was secured with a rubber band, but his shoes were New Balance, which I mentally noted as suspicious. He dumped the money bag out on the table and started making 2 piles. "I'll give you guys half. How's that sound? That's $150. Pretty good, right?" "Are you kidding me?" Dan said. "Look, I know, I'm new at this. Maybe next time I won't rob a Dunkin' Donuts. How about this? You want drugs? I got plenty of drugs." Dan wiped puke from his face and said he just needed some water. The clown pulled these squishy, foil-wrapped brownies from his pocket and placed them on the table with the cash. He nodded at them. Dan was still pretty shaky, but I was already inspecting a brownie. It smelled totally normal. "I'm sorry, how rude of me. The name's Bobby Love." He said it like a song as he shook our hands. Bobby Love. "And you only want to eat about half that brownie, my friend." So we all had brownies and waited for them to kick in while Bobby Love told us more about himself. He said he was a clown professionally and only just started robbing Dunkin' Donuts on the side. He'd come to Chicago by way of Baltimore, but it was hard to find work as a clown because of the whole John Wayne Gacy thing. And you know what? The more he talked, the more I started to like him. He wasn't afraid to open up. Soon he was telling us about his alien abduction. Alls I remember is falling into my couch because I was too drunk to make it to my bed, and then a big white light, man. This morning I wake up all sunburnt and my butt hurts. The brownie came on hard and fast. I'm pretty sure it was laced with something. I remember Bobby Love telling us the size of the spaceship with his outstretched hands. I remember thinking, how ridiculous. I remember Dan roaring like a lion. "Make us a balloon, clown. Make us an animal." And Bobby Love said, "Sure, why not?" and patted his breast pockets for balloons, and then patted his pants pockets, and then let out a deep sigh and hung his head. All right, so I'm not a real clown. I woke up wearing this thing and I just went with it. Like I said, I was abducted. I stared at his shoes. They were a dead giveaway all along. But if you want to see something crazy, my girlfriend's a fire breather, and she's got mushrooms. You guys like mushrooms? Let me get her on the horn. He was already dialing the number before we could say anything. "Hey, it's me, Bobby Love. Yep. Hey, so I'm with some new friends." "No, I have the money I owe you." He was mumbling now and turned in his chair away from us, and Dan and I exchanged looks. We were pretty high by this point. "Well, that's a little expensive, don't you think?" "No, it won't be like last time." We sat around the kitchen table drinking beers, waiting for Bobby Love's girlfriend. It felt like hours went by. After a while, I got hungry and started cooking. I put a pan on the stove and fried some eggs and toasted some bread and scraped the last bit of country crock over it. Then I drank some beer while Bobby Love and Dan bet on dice. "I'm going to win that money back," Bobby Love said as he shook dice in his fist. "Not a chance." Dan tapped stiff dollar bills on the table. The dice cascaded. My pan on the stove sizzled. I cracked open another Miller Lite, and Bobby Love yelled, "Snake Eyes." And then Snake Eyes showed up with a bag full of the hairiest mushrooms I have ever seen and said, "Who wants to get weird?" Snake Eyes didn't actually have eyes from a snake. She just did her makeup that way. I was really into it. We ate the mushrooms, and Bobby Love told us more about his alien abduction. "I just keep going back to that white light, man." "Maybe you died in your dream," Snake Eyes said. "I've heard about that happening. It's a sign." "A sign of what?" I asked. She looked me in the eyes and said, "Oh, you know, transformation." I didn't know. I don't think I'll ever know, but I pretended like I did because I wanted to believe in something for once in my life. I'd totally forgotten about the fire breathing until I was having a cigarette on the back deck, and she cornered me and whispered in my ears, "Let's go to the lake." Now? But what about Bobby Love? She took my cigarette from my fingers and pressed it to her tongue. It was easily the sexiest thing a woman had ever done for me. "He can come, and your friend." The lake is like an hour away, but somehow we were already in my car and I was already driving. She was in the passenger seat, her hand on my thigh, or maybe I was making that up. I wasn't sure what was true and what was untrue. The moon was pregnant with eerie light. The air felt electrified. The lake seemed to draw us in like a magnet. I remember thinking, I never want to leave this place, and that this was somehow my destiny. Bobby Love lay on the ground making sand angels, and Dan floated on his back in the water. We were all zen as fuck for a while until Snake Eyes found a metal pipe and started banging it on the beach rocks, yelling, "Where are the ducks?" And someone told her to shut the hell up. And for some reason, everyone was yelling at each other, and all at once our beautiful family was ripping apart. Eventually it started raining, and then Dan threw up again. No one talked the whole ride home, but we all knew something had changed for the worst. Or maybe things had just gone back to normal. Days turned into months, and every once in a while I'll die in my sleep and wake up lost, like I'm missing something. That was you, wasn't it, in the UFO? I do remember this, before we went to the lake, but after Snake Eyes ate that cigarette, I remember finding Dan lying on his back with his feet up in the air, peering deep into the particles of the universe. I remember looking down at him. He was really somewhere else, and wherever that place was had to be the most beautiful place he'd ever been. Then there was a terrible crash, like something falling to earth. Did you hear something? Dan pointed through his legs across the carpet to my room where there was a person I'd never met before. Who are you? I asked this person, and they said, I don't even know. It was Bobby Love, but I hadn't recognized him. He'd changed out of his clown costume and was wearing my clothes, staring at himself in my bedroom mirror. And we looked at each other, and neither of us blinked. The end.
That was a wonderful story. I love a good short story. I have been listening to this is going to sound really pretentious, but I'm going to say it anyway. The New Yorker has this like fiction podcast where they just get like famous writers to pick a short story from the New Yorker archive and read it. And it's really awesome. And I have a really long commute to work now, so I've been listening to it. But so I've been into short stories, and
That's so pretentious.
sorry, yeah, what can I say? But I love your character development. That was like super strong. And the ending also great. It's like reminding me of a movie, and I can't put my finger on it, but as soon as I do, I'll let you know. Like for some reason, I'm thinking of Dead Ringers by Cronenberg, which is like one of my faves. But it's not that. That's not what I'm thinking of. It's something different, but I'll let you know. So I'm gonna finish us off tonight. I'm not yet. I have a few poems that I'm gonna read. I have been thinking a lot about like family history and heritage, because I've been learning a lot about my own heritage, and I come from a long line of Italians, and my great-great-grandfather immigrated here when he was 11 from Italy, and also I have grandparents on every side of my family who immigrated here from Italy, and but I've been learning about him. His name was Orlando, and he ran a marathon when he was 96. So never tell yourself you can't. I swear to God, he did. He participated in the National Senior Olympics or something, and he won. Like, he started competing in sports when he was in his 90s, and he was a rancher and an Italian man. I don't know. He came here from the States when Italians had very negative public image, and he came from nothing and became super successful and ended up like owning an orange grove in Florida and doing all these crazy things that I've been learning about. I'm not going to keep going on about him, but my grandma told me this one story about how he once, because back in the day, they didn't have airplanes, so you'd have to take an ocean liner back to wherever you lived in Europe. So he would take an ocean liner back to Italy, and he once shipped a car over to Italy with him so he could show his family there how successful he became. So that's kind of where... That's my genes, and I've been thinking a lot about that, and I was like, I'm so unathletic, like, and then I hear about, this man, and I knew that he had done that for most of my life, ran this marathon. Also, he ran it with his 74-year-old son, so, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just push myself, and I'm gonna start competing in sports. This has nothing to do with my writing, by the way. I just wanted to tell you guys. I mean, it kind of does. Well, not really, but whatever. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting because, we all come from somewhere. And, I also learned a lot of things about my great-great-grandfather that were not so nice. And, everyone has a past, and not everything is good, but I want to just look at the good because I have the choice to do that. So I'm going to read some poems now. This first one is called Allure. Immersed so deeply, I seem to start become waves undulating, a stork flying in the distance. Have you ever seen a stork kill? Held in its mouth are the entrails of a bygone age. Crippled stone abodes that were once homes, that were once warm, light, teeming with smoke. Traversing through these grounds, muddied and shat on by sheep grazing in the distance, scanning its facade for any sign of life. All I find are gouges in the walls where eyes once looked out at the vast sea, thinking it was only, thinking of the future, of some girl from across these waters trampling upon the ruins of what now stands stolid above, ensconced in the room like a ghost, waiting for the end as I, staring out to beyond, search for meaning, hoping two minds could mingle at the same place at vastly different times, interloping across dimension and generation, still captured by the abundance of this land and never truly leaving, as we are both still there, figures shadowed in relief, sound of Shiant, gobbled up by this world's allure. Thanks. Thank you. That was about the ruins of this castle that I went to in Scotland, which was, I mean, there are not many words to describe what it's like going to a castle. Actually, there are many, but there's also not many for the same reasons. This next one's called Cerulean. To back up into delirium, I deposit your remains in a U-sized coffin, knowing you'll fit, tying you shut with cerulean blue lace until I take what remains to sprinkle off deadened cliff edges, pursing my lips, concealed carried your hips near my waist, stomach expanding / pulling you closer to this infinite inside of me. Divine femininity, closing my eyes around the circumference of your Nordic skull, large to endure the blows of my impatience, my generosity, the bubbles in your pop. Hand over my blue / purple nails. It is approaching, you say, as if the clouds spoke defiance. But what I hear is, it is fading, as if meaning was as temporal as a head cold. Thick, like your bacteria-laden mucus down your sucrose lips. Yes, we are all body and paltry in the scope of it all, yet I would lay in a steaming bed of you as the cold froze over, just to see if we'd bloom months from now. Thank you. This next one's called Printed. I'm just now seeing a similarity between this last poem. Printed. A steaming red bed of your promises, calcified into static poses and the dark print of your lipstick staining the glass between us. An olive tree grows not inches from me, but it provides little continence to my mental disarray. Attempting to grasp why the system has claimed any one person has overstayed their welcome. Is it right to want to abandon ship and let the economists take care of it? I was never a great reporter anyways. I'd be better off wrangling lamb off some sparsely populated coast of a British isle where I could disconnect for a while and begin to understand why my poems always begin and end with impressions of your lips. Thank you. I have one more. I wrote this really long poem last night about the stuff I was talking about in the beginning, but I was like, I don't want to read it because, I don't know. I was like, I just don't want to read it. But now I feel like I want to. But you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to read this one. It's called Move Ring. 3 minutes to walk to close move ring. Crack my body in every which way, the curve of your back as you lean over glass plates scraped with metal credit cards and tempera glaze of golden Christ child waiting to suckle from virgin gesticulation, hips rocking back and forth, tell me dirty words like data and software and cybernetics, glitched out to your sub-meeting, pinked out in the pub, foreshortened your inky patterning, slam something, feel good, wrap my red arms around robin egg breast. I voted in November. What did you eat for dinner? A glass of red, a xylazine, a computer teetering towards travesty, poison ivy creeping up me, and Red Bulls, and a bus ride to a dark mountain where shadows wait behind my mother's eyes. I never answer. Remember when I felt you there? Off shrooms to a Scottish song from eons ago, temple blasted, pizza smashed down throat. 3 minutes to close that fucking move ring at a brisk pace, they say, but I've been grinding in my sleep to the sound of timer beeping until flash and I'm pregnant in Hollywood, makeup smeared like it's junior prom and I'm lost in Christophine, in Portree, in a bathroom stall, wiping the crust off my nose, slamming another one down until AI translates the synopsis of it. Close sign with the light on, bury my head in yellowed pillow of childhood. Cat hair up nose, wipe it off, wipe it down, wipe it upside the backwards pink of your foreshortened shadow, ablaze in this dryness. The whole world is aflame and triggered to temptation. It's the fate of the finance bro, the one my cousin slept with in his $5K a month apartment in the East Village. I pick up the phone, say, hello? It's your great-great-grandfather, Orlando. He just wants to say that you're going to make it. Thanks. Yeah, that's all I have.
You're gonna make it.
Yeah. But unfortunately I had to move out of Ulster County because it's just too damn expensive to live here. So I'm not going to make it in Ulster County. Thank you guys all for coming. This has been wonderful, as always. Yeah, I think everyone said everything, and I've just been filling in the space in between. So yeah, thank you guys, and have a great night. White Noise signing off.
Hey.